Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne. Today I'll be sharing with you how to cut a basic bodice pattern, and if you're a beginner you don't have to worry because this tutorial will be very detailed. Grab yourself a drink and a popcorn and relax because you'll be enjoying every bit of it. I promise you that. So if you're new to this channel, please like this video, share and subscribe. Thank you. So this is a pattern I'll be making use of and is already on fold. I went ahead to use a paper tape down because the pattern was already moving. That is the starting line, the starting point. So I'll go ahead and mark the upper bust, which is 8 inches. That's the breast point, bust point, 10 inches. Depends on your own measurements. Yours can be 9 inches, yours can be 8, yours can be 11 inches as the case may be. So after the bust point line is my waistline and the hem line, and that is the allowance, which is 1.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and take the shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 16 inches. 16 inches divided by 2 is 8 inches. I'll be adding half an inch for allowance, so it's going to be 8.5 inches. So that's 8.5 inches. Then on the bust, upper bust, I'll go ahead and mark the same 8.5 inches and I'll be connecting those two dots together. This would, however, serve as my armhole line. So I'll be going over to the neckline now to measure 3 inches. That is for my neck width. Then on the armhole line, I'm coming down by 1 inch. I'm going to be making a slope there from the neck down to the armhole line. That is for my shoulder slope. Afterwards, I'll be under my neckline, I'll be coming down by 3 inches. So for basic bodies, it's usually 3 by 3. But if you want yours to be if you want your neck to be wider, you can go ahead and make it 4.5. Depends on your preference. So I'll be connecting those points together. I would have used a curve ruler to just get my neck curve, but I'll be doing this so that it will be easier for beginners to catch up. So I'm connecting these points like this together, and afterwards at that corner there, I'll be going in by half of an inch, like so. I'll be going in by half of an inch. This will serve or enable me to make that curve around the neck area. Hope you understand what I'm doing, guys. So this is me trying to get a curve with a free hand. So if you have a curve ruler, you can just go ahead and use a curve ruler. So next thing, I'll be getting the midpoint of my armhole because I want to be making my armhole curve right now. So that is 8 inches. I'm dividing 8 inches by 2, which is 4 inches. So I'm going ahead to mark 4 inches like so, and I'll be coming in by 3/4 of an inch. You can do half inch. It totally depends on your preference. Half inch is also fine. I'll go ahead now and make a curve from the shoulder slope all the way to my bust line or my upper bust. So I'm just using a curve ruler to do this. I advise you also use a curve ruler, but if you don't have a curve ruler, you could just use the point from the shoulder slope to meet to that point you came in by half of an inch or 3/4 of an inch all the way to the upper bust. I'll be taking my dart measurement, and to measure the darts for whatever you're making, you're going to be using your nipple to nipple. That is distance from one bust to the other. Mine is 8 inches. I'm going ahead to divide 8 inches by 2, which is 4 inches. Then I'll be marking on the waistline and on the hemline. Then you see that on that bust point, you're going to come down by 1 inch because you will not want your dart to start from your nipple point. Go ahead and connect the points together using a straight ruler. I'll be marking half of an inch on the waist side, that is the dart now. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to achieve my darts. I'm marking half of an inch on both sides. I'll be connecting to each of the points. Use your ruler and connect from the waist side, connect it all the way to that point under your bust line. Do the same thing down here and connect to your hem all the way. Repeat the same method on this other side. I'm done connecting the dart now. So next I'll be taking the body measurement. Starting from the bust point, bust line. I'll be taking my bust measurement 40 inches, divide that by 4. So I'll be having 10 inches. Go ahead and add your allowance. I'll be adding 2 inches allowance for mine. Then on the waistline, I'll be taking my waist measurement 35 inches. I'll be dividing 35 inches by 4. Whatever you have for yours, go ahead and mark it. Then I'll be marking the dart, whatever I use for the dart, which is 1 inch. I'll go ahead and mark that, and also mark the allowance, which is 2 inches. And on the waistline, I'll go ahead and the hip line, that is the hip line. I'll go ahead and mark the hip measurement, which is 45 inches. I'll be adding my 2 inches seam allowance. So after I'm done doing this, I'm going to be connecting the points. Please, I'm so sorry you're seeing so many points there. Please follow what I'm doing and you'll not be confused. So I'll be using my ruler now to connect those points together. From the bust line, I'll be connecting to my waistline like so. Then from the waistline, I'll be connecting to the hip line. So what I did here, I'm going to be doing the same thing for other points. So from the bust line, I'll be connecting to the waistline, and from the waistline, I'll be connecting to the hip line. So after I'm done, in order not to confuse you guys, I'll go ahead and label each of the lines. Starting from the shoulder line, I'll label that as the shoulder. Then on the bust line, I'll label that as the upper bust. Then the other line there is my bust line. Then this is my waistline. This is the hip line. Then the hem line. So what I'll do next is down here I'll be coming up by 1.5 inches. So I'll just take 1.5 inches from there, come up by 1.5 inches. Then I'll go ahead and make a curve like so. So the reason why I'm making this curve is because after sewing my blouse, I will not want the side of my blouse to be peeking out. Trust me, if you don't curve your blouse this way, after sewing your blouse, you will not like the outcome because it will be peeking out. Your blouse is supposed to sit well around your hip area like so. So I'm done with the front part. I'll go ahead and cut it out, cut it all the way from the shoulder to my armhole, the side, and of course the down part of the blouse. Go ahead and use your scissors to cut it, but while cutting it, please be careful in order not to cut through your main pattern. If you're still watching this video at this point, please, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Like this video, subscribe and share this video. And don't forget to comment, please. Just comment, let me know that you're actually following what I'm doing. So this is me, I'm done cutting the pattern, and this is how the front looks like. Guys, the shape is already out. So I'll be opening this for you to see, like so. This is it. Go ahead and mark on the other part if you so wish, but for the sake of time I won't be doing that. Next, I'll be cutting my back bodies. So I've already marked the necessary lines, and that is the zipper line. I used 2 inches for my zipper allowance. Go ahead and use 1.5 if you so wish. It depends on the amount of fabric you have. For me, I'm using 2 inches. So that is the neck, and this is the bust, upper bust, which is the bust line. This is the bust point line. I'm going ahead to label it the way I did for the front. This is the waist line, this is the hip line, and of course the hem line. So this is the shoulder measurement, 16 inches divided by 2. What I marked up, I went ahead and marked same thing down on the bust point, upper bust, and I've already done my shoulder slip. Exactly what I did for the front is what I did for the back. But for the neck part, I'll be coming down by 1 inch. Then I'll make a curve. I'll connect it to that point of 3 inches. So just the way I did for the front, I'm going ahead to connect the 2 points together, 3 by 1 inch. Then I'm making a curve like so. Then I want to get the midpoint of my armhole. I'm dividing 8 inches by 2. Then from there I'll be making a curve, my armhole curve. So guys, this is how it's looking. The armhole curve is already out. So next thing, I'll be taking the body measurement. So I'll be going over to my bust line to take the bust measurement, which is 40 inches divided by 4. Then I'll be adding 2 inches seam allowance. Then on the waist side, I'll be taking my waist measurement, which is 35 inches. I'll be dividing that measurement by 4. Then I'll be adding 1 inch allowance for that. Go ahead and add 1 inch for that. Then go ahead and add your allowance. I'm adding 2 inches allowance. Then for the hip part, I'll be taking my hip measurement, which is 45 inches, divide by 4. Then I'll be adding 2 inches seam allowance. Afterwards, I'll be connecting the points together from the bust line to the waist and to the hip using a straight ruler. Go ahead and connect your points together. Can you see that the shape is already out, just like the front pattern? The shape is already out, guys. So next I'll be taking my dart measurement, which is my nipple to nipple divided by 2, and what I have is 4 inches. I'll be adding half of an inch allowance. Then I'll connect it. But before that, you see that breast point line you're seeing there, I'm going to be coming up by 1 inch. Go up by 1 inch. Remember the front, we came down by 1 inch, but for the back bodies, please go up by 1 inch. You can go as far as 2 inches. It totally depends on it, your preference. It is fine if you go up by 2 inches also, or 1.5. For me, I'll be going up by 1 inch. So on the waistline, I'll be taking half of an inch both sides. Then I'll connect it to meet to the point up and the point down, like so. Use your ruler to connect the darts. Please do not use a free hand for it. So the shape of the dart is out. So guys, I'll come down here exactly what I did for the front. I'm going to be coming up by 1.5 inches. Then I'll make a curve like so. Go ahead and use a curve ruler to make this curve. You can see the shape is already out. So at this point, I'll use my scissors to cut the necessary part out. The part I won't be needing, I'll be cutting it out. Go ahead and cut your own pattern out. Please, while cutting, be careful. So for the neck, go ahead and use your marker to extend that line to meet your zipper allowance. If you cannot use your marker to extend the line, go ahead and fold that zipper line in, tuck it in and cut. So it's so easy, guys. It's very, 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 very easy. I'm just going ahead to cut the shoulder slope. Then I'll be cutting through the zipper allowance. I'll just cut it open. Please guys, don't forget to like this video. Leave a comment in the comment section. So this is how the back pattern is looking. It's looking very, very fine. As you can see, I'll bring over the front pattern and just place it on top of the back pattern to show you guys how it's looking. This is it. This is the outcome, guys. This is our pattern. It's looking very, very fine. That is the shoulder, the neck, that is the bust, the hip. It is looking very, very fine. Let me just go ahead and place these things down so you can see how our pattern is looking. This is it. Our pattern is looking pretty fine. At this point, we are done with our tutorial. Thank you so much for sticking around. See you guys in my next video. Bye.